Hello, I'm Sandra Self, Catoosa County Tax Commissioner, and it's my privilege to be here and talk to you a little bit at Table Topics about something that I hope is very interesting to all of our homeowners in Catoosa County. And joining me is Carolyn Walker.
I'm the Walker County Tax Commissioner, and we're here to discuss homestead exemptions today.
A lot of homestead exemption information is the same across the state, but there's a whole lot that's different too from county to county. Each county can pass their local options that give exemptions to their residents on their property taxes. So because it can be so confusing, we thought it would be good and maybe enlightening to talk about these just by county. So Carolyn, let's talk first about the state exemptions.
Okay, we share those statewide. Every county has the same exemptions. Our basic one is for anyone that owns a home in their name and occupies it as their primary residence. And with that one, they sign up for it and they're automatically getting a $2,000 reduction off the taxable value of their home. In Walker County, that's about $48, probably similar in Catoosa.
A little bit more in Catoosa, but the next one that applies is the state exemption for people who are age 62. At age 62, if you have a net taxable income from your Georgia income tax return, then you get a $10,000 exemption that applies only to the school tax. That's a pretty good savings. In Catoosa County, that would be about $180.
And then next is 65, and there are actually two exemptions at 65. One of them sounds greater than it is, and that's 100% off the home on the state portion of the tax. But since their portion is the smallest portion we get, it's not a really great exemption, but it's a little bit of savings for everybody, isn't it?
Right.
So that one. And the other age 65 gives them $10,000 off the school, and that everybody looks forward to that deduction off the school tax. But these are based on income and age, so you have to bring us some tax. We like the federal income tax form to verify, because there's amounts they have to meet there.
Those are the same all across the state. And there's one more that we'll mention, and that is for our disabled veterans. For veterans who are receiving 100% rating on their disability from the VA, if they can bring us that letter from the Adjutant General, then that gives them a very large exemption. This one, the amount we can't tell you about because it changes from year to year as that exemption amount is changed by the federal law and then by the state law. Now these state exemptions that we've just talked about, regular homestead exemption, an exemption at age 62, then exemption at age 65, and our veterans, all are based upon the status as of January 1 for that year. In other words, if you're applying for the senior exemptions, you have to be that age on January 1. Carolyn, I can't help them with their birthday. Mom and Daddy determined that.
That's true.
And so we can't help them with that. And you have to be the owner and reside in the home as of January 1. Then you have to make your application before April the 1st if you want it to apply to that taxable year.
But you can apply year-round.
Yes.
But after April 1, it will go for the next year, the up-and-coming year. So people get confused on that. Because we bill in October, they think if they sign up January 1, that's going to be for that October. But it's actually for the following year if they miss April 1.
Okay. Those are the state exemptions. They're the same anywhere in the state. All counties in Georgia have those same basic exemptions. Now's where we get into those issues that cause a lot of confusion. You want to talk about Catoosa or Walker first?
Catoosa's before Walker alphabetically. We'll start with Catoosa.
Okay, we'll talk about Catoosa. At age 62, regardless of your income, you can qualify for a $2,000 exemption off your school tax. Now, this law's been in place since 1978, and it doesn't save a lot of money, but it does save a little money. And so, at age 62, regardless of income. But also, at age 62, in addition to that state exemption, we have a local exemption that says if your income is limited, in other words, you have a total household income, all income from all sources, and everyone living in the house is less than $20,000, you would become totally exempt from the county portion of your tax. It would not eliminate the state tax, and it would not affect the school tax, but it would eliminate the county portion of the tax. That is specific to Catoosa County. Then at age 65, that exemption can carry over and be in addition to the state exemptions. And the big one that everybody's always interested in, that's at the age 75. And that eliminates all school tax. There is no income limit, and there is no limit to the amount of property that it covers. That's very important for people because we do still have folks who have maybe some acreage still out in the rural areas. So we have currently about 2,000 people in our county who are over 75 and receiving this exemption. There is also a disability exemption in Catoosa County if the total household income is less than $20,000, all income, all sources, and for everyone living in the household is less than $20,000, they would be totally exempt from county and school taxes. There is no age limit on that one, but the income is limited. Carolyn, that covers our Catoosa County residents. A lot of exemptions and a lot of help for our residents. But I think Walker County has some different ones that applies to their residents.
Yes, we have none of Sandy's local. Our most important one and best one is age 70, and it gives you $50,000 off of the school tax. That's off the taxable value of your home. So that gives a lot of people no school tax at age 70. And that's the one most people say that's the only benefit of getting old is to get that exemption. Then we also have an age 70 that's based on a $15,000 income of the applicant and spouse. It's the net taxable income on their federal form. And that gives them 100% off the county portion of the taxes. So if their income's right, they could actually get 100% off the county and the state at 70. Then we have an age 75 exemption based on income that will give them up to 100% off of county and school. So that one's income based. And we always compare because we find that some at 75 do better with the 70 exemptions than they do the 75. So we make sure before we sign them for which one they're going to qualify for. But that's the Walker County local exemptions.
We also have exemptions that apply to our residents in the city of Fort Oglethorpe. Fort Oglethorpe has a regular homestead exemption that applies only to the city portion of their taxes, and that's for any resident, any age. That gives them a $10,000 exemption off their taxes, and then at age 60 they get a $40,000 exemption off their city taxes, and at age 70 they are totally exempt from all their city taxes. Fort Oglethorpe also has a disability exemption that totally exempts them from the city portion of their taxes. Now, that applies in Catoosa County if the property is located inside the city of Fort Oglethorpe, but also in Walker County, because there's a portion of the city of Fort Oglethorpe that is located inside Walker County. Is there anything we've missed?
Well, we have some city exemptions in the cities that I don't collect for, but everyone needs to talk to their city office, the mayor or the clerk's office there, to see what their city exemptions are, because I don't keep up with those since I don't collect them. But we do have several cities. I've got 5 cities, so there are some of those that have their own exemptions.
I do collect for the city of Ringgold, but Ringgold does not currently have any homestead exemptions that apply to their taxes. Folks, I hope this has been a lot of good information for you. It's been very brief, but we've covered everything as it relates to homestead exemption. One more time, we would remind you that you can apply anytime, year-round, for these exemptions, but the cutoff date is April the 1st for that taxable year, but the qualifications work a whole lot like income tax. It's as it stood on January 1 for that taxable year. As always, if you've got further questions, need more specific or detailed information, be sure to call my office at 706-965-2571 or
my office is 706-638-2929.
We certainly appreciate this opportunity to give you some information. This is Sandra Self from Catoosa County.
And Carolyn Walker from Walker County.
Thank you very much.